Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the Holosun solar-powered red dots. I've got 3 of them. I've been playing around with them for about 6 months. They work really good. I did a previous review on them. You guys can look that up, and I thought it was doing great, and I still feel the same. But there are some limitations about using these solar-powered red dots that we're going to talk about today. So first of all, let's talk about how these things work. They've got 2 settings, okay? One setting is solar power mode, where basically you see the solar power panel here on top. It's basically getting power from the sun. In solar power mode, you get an auto adjust setting, okay? So the red dot will decide how bright you need your red dot. It will do that automatically. In the solar power setting, you can't change that. Okay, you have to basically accept whatever brightness setting the red dot thinks that you should have. If you're not happy with that, you have the option of switching over to manual mode. Okay, in manual mode, it's taking power from the internal battery. It's a 2032, so it's taking power from the battery. And in the manual mode, you got these little buttons on the side over here that you can press up and down to get it to where you want it to be. Okay. So that's so those are the two the 2 settings that you have. It's either solar powered or manual mode. In solar power mode, you can't you have to accept whatever brightness setting they give you. Okay. Now that's where most of my problem is with this red dot. And like I said, it's a minor problem. Most of the time when I'm shooting, it works well. The guns that I use most of the time have these solar powered red dots on it, because for most of the time it's not an issue. Let's take a step back for a second, and let's talk about what we need as far as a red dot. On a bright day when we have the sun out, okay, we need a very bright red dot, especially if we are shooting at a white target, or if we're shooting and we got snow in the background. It has to be extra bright, okay? But even just on a regular day, if you're shooting at in a grassy area, you need a pretty bright red dot in order to be able to see it. That's one of the problems I had with the Bushnells. The Bushnells, I had a few of those. They were just not sunny day bright enough, okay? But here's the thing: if I'm shooting at my targets here up close, right? And the red dot being super bright is awesome, because as soon as I come up, get that bright red dot on the target, bang, bang, bang. That bright red dot helps me find my target really fast. Works excellent. But when I switch to a further target, right, like right now I'm looking at a target that's about 110 yards back. It's a 12-inch plate. Okay, with the sun out, when I put my red dot now on that target, my red dot basically completely overpowers my target. I can no longer see my target. All I see is a gigantic red dot on it, and it completely covers up my target. So in shooting at distance, I generally need to power down my red dot so it doesn't overwhelm my target. And here's where my complaints begin. Okay, and it's not a major complaint. What I need to do now is, because it's overpowering my target, I now have to switch into manual mode. And basically, you gotta hold down the plus key for 3 seconds to switch into manual mode, and now you can switch it. You can adjust your setting. 2 problems with that. Number one, holding it down for 3 seconds takes time. If I've got gloves on, because let's say it's winter time, I cannot find these. I cannot feel these buttons over here. And you might say, well, take your gloves off. Well, easier said than done when it's like negative 10 degrees outside, because that's the kind of temperature I get here. Okay, so I cannot adjust that or get into manual mode when it's like negative 10 degrees and I'm using these thick insulated gloves in the wintertime. So that's another issue. And the other issue is that once I get into manual mode, it's now using up my battery. So even though I may have the sun out, I'm no longer able to use the sun to power my red dot. I now have to use my battery. So I cannot, it's either one or the other. I'm either going to be in solar power mode with an auto adjust, or I'm going to be in battery mode with the ability to manual adjust. Okay, I don't have the option of being in solar mode with the ability to adjust the brightness setting. So that's a problem, and I'll talk about the three circumstances where that is especially a problem. One, I already described. I'm shooting at distance, and I need to, at a relatively small target, and the red dot is completely overpowering my target. Okay, I can't see it to aim good enough. Okay, so that's one instance. The other instance is I'm shooting from a shady area, either because I'm under some type of a cover, or maybe I'm actually like in the bushes, like under a tree, or I've got like a tarp over me for camouflage or something. If I'm in a shady area, where now again we got the solar panel on top, so the solar panel is looking up and it sees that it's not, it doesn't see a sun, and what it does is, because it doesn't see the sun, it assumes that it's night now, and it lowers the power setting on my red dot. So if I'm in a shady area shooting out at a target that's in a brightly lit area, like into a field or something, now all of a sudden I don't have a bright enough red dot to put on my target. So that's the second issue. And the third issue is if I'm shooting at night. Now, if I'm shooting at night and I'm not using a light that's mounted on the gun, that's fine, because the night setting, the night adjustment setting is pretty good. I mean, the red dot's very dim. It's not blinding. It's very low. But what happens is if I mount a light onto here, okay, and lights these days, they get, they're up near 1,000 looms. So what's happening is the red dot is looking, the panel, the solar panel, the sensor is looking up, and it sees that there's no sun over me, so it knows that it's night, and it's adjusting my red dot to the dimmest possible setting. However, the light in front of me, the light on the side of the gun is flashing the target, and the target is extremely bright. So now I have a very bright target with a very faint red dot on it that I cannot see. So with the light on the target at night, I cannot see the red dot. So that's a problem. Now, a lot of times when you're shooting at night, what we want to do is we want to basically, light the target up, identify it, then turn the light off, move to a different position, and shoot from there. In which case, while we're actually shooting, we're not, that's not an issue. However, you might have a situation where it's like just completely pitch black, and you need to have the light on in order to put the red dot on the target. So in that situation, you're not going to be able to see your red dot at all. So those are the three instances where I'm having problems using the red dot. Either sunny day out, and I'm shooting at long distance, small target at long distance, and the red dot is overpowering. Meanwhile, same exact situation, I'm shooting up close. I'm trying to do fast target acquisition, and it's perfect. So it's perfect for up close, but not too much for further out. So that's the one instance. Second instance that I said is I'm shooting from a shady area into a sunny area. Again, that's a problem. Basically the red dot. In that case, because I'm in a shady area and I'm shooting into a sunny area, I don't have a bright enough red dot because it thinks that it's night. And the third issue is if I'm using this with a light. Now, one of the things that I have been doing, especially with the AK, if I have the first situation where it's sunny out and I just need to lower the brightness setting because I'm because I'm shooting further away, I will I'll take a C-clamp grip here and I'll just cover the panel with my thumb. Okay, so I'll do it this way. So from here, I'll just come up and I'll just cover that with my thumb, and then it will immediately go dim. So that's an option for shooting at distance. If you're just going to take like one or two shots, and that way you don't have to go and adjust the settings. And like I said, I do have a problem with these buttons, especially like I said, you gotta get to it, hold it down. That can be a real pain in the neck. That's one of the reasons why I really like using big dials, like I got on this Adaball. Okay, you know, with a dial like this that spins around, this is really nice, especially in the wintertime. Because even if I have like thick insulated gloves, even if I'm using mittens, I can grab this and turn it. So this is very, you know, this works really good. This is really easy to adjust. Problem is that this is not solar powered. The solar powered feature is really nice to have. Ideally, what I would like is I would like a solar powered red dot that has a nice big fat dial that I could turn and adjust to where I need it. One of the problems with the dials though is they do tend to break a lot faster. You know, just because you have connectors that are running over each other, there's a lot more friction there. I mean, I've had 10 of these Adderballs, and I think 6 of them, you know, were sent back on warranty with warranty issues. So basically, I only have 4 left out of 10 that are still working. And it's just, you know, with the amount of shooting that I do, I mean, I just, you know, there's a lot of turning that knob back and forth, and they break. So that's the issue with the dial. I mean, it's you know, it'd be nice if it was, you know, if it was just tougher, but it's not. And again, that just has to do with the fact that you have parts running over each other. There's just a lot more friction, wear and tear. So I guess we are stuck with digital. Okay, and like I said, the problem with the digital here is that I can't quite reach these buttons. But that's, you know, that's something I can work around. The main issue is that with this specific design is, if I'm in solar power mode, I'm forced to take their auto adjust. I cannot be in solar powered mode and have a manual adjustment. What would be nice is, you know, the same way they have buttons on this side, if they put buttons on this side maybe, so that when I'm in solar powered mode, I could adjust it down or up. That would be nice. That would, you know, that might be a simple solution. But that's where I think that this is the future. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world to have solar powered red dots. It greatly extends the life or the usability of, you know, of the red dot. I mean, especially in a shit hit the fan type of situation where you may have a problem replacing batteries. It's great to have solar powered option. I just want to make you aware of those 3 limitations. Okay, I'm not putting this video out in the sense of this is bad, don't buy it, doesn't work. You know, it's actually the opposite. This is great. It works very well. I've been using it. I expect that all the red dots that I buy going forward are all going to be solar powered. I just hope that they're able to at some point address this issue that I have, which is that, like I said, if I'm sunny day, you know, I need a quick way to reduce the brightness if I'm shooting at a distance, or if I'm shooting from shade into sunlight. Again, I need a way to increase the power setting really quickly and fast. Or if I'm shooting at night, where I have a light mounted on the gun, you know, I need to be able to increase the red dot setting if if my light is so bright that it's completely washing out my my red dot. You know, one of the simple options might be, you know, and I guess as a design issue, you know, I don't know why they don't have it so that, you know, the plus and negative simply work while the gun is in solar power mode. You know, I mean, that would seem to be a nice simple option. I mean, just basically, you know, ideally I would want this to, you know, be able to work in solar power mode all the time, unless there was, you know, there was no sun and then needed to go to a backup source. Then by all means have it switch automatically to that backup source. But regardless, I should be able to adjust the brightness setting, independent of whether it's in solar power mode or it's in battery power mode. I really shouldn't even have to worry about whether it's in battery power mode or in solar power mode. But that's my opinion. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it. Hopefully Holosun will see this video and, you know, consider this on their next design. If you're not a member of my channel, please subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.